We are grateful to our sponsors, Kelly Stafford with Stafford Tree Service and also Black Cow Cow Manure. If you need your trees trimmed locally, remember Stafford Tree Service at staffordtreesvc.com. And please visit Black Cow Cow Manure, that's K-O-W. Remember, both of the contact details are in the description below. This is one that we've showed you before when it was just a seed. We put the 3 toothpicks in the seed, we put it in some water, and I'm showing it to you now because now this has been a couple of months since we started it. And forever, of course, it just sat there. First off, it eventually put a little bit of a root out, and now you can see we've got a tremendous amount of roots. And I kind of like this glass because you can see how the roots are just spreading all over the glass. You see we've got stems, we've actually got 2. If this were a larger tree, we'd call it a co-dominant trunk. Now, obviously with just being a seedling, I probably would still cut one of these off later and just make a single trunk. I'm not going to do that right at the moment because we want to have as much photosynthetic factory as we can with these leaves. But if you're going to plant it outside, it would be better for the tree to have one trunk than 2. So if you've got a co-dominant trunk, almost always pick one of those leaders and make sure that you remove the weaker of the 2. You want a nice straight trunk. Now this is still a little bit on the small side. What I may do in the future is bring this back as a repeat guest again and actually graft onto it and show you how to do either a cleft graft or a side graft. And why would you want to do that? Well, this seedling probably will produce, but it might be 12, 13 years before it does. If I take mature wood and take that mature wood, which we'd call a scion, and I put it onto this immature wood, then that mature wood is already ready to start producing, and it might produce fruit in a year or 2. So that would be one of the main reasons for grafting. Plus we would graft and know that we had a particular variety. Now this particular seed came from a Brogden variety, and the odds are that it would produce fruit very similar to what it was. But remember, the Brogden was a sport. It came up in the grove and meant that it was a cross. It was a natural cross, kind of between a Mexican and a Guatemalan. So you might not get exactly, in fact, you probably wouldn't get exactly the same as you had. And I would make the analogy between brothers and sisters or brothers and brothers. There will often be some genetic differences. One of the reasons that we often do grafting is that we know we're getting exactly the same type of tree. If let's say it's a Brogden, or it could be one of the others like Choquette, you'd know you're getting exactly that same variety onto that same stem, and the top part from then on would give you exactly the same genetic fruit that you had before. And it also means you're going to get it sooner. You're going to may get it, we mentioned, in 2 or 3 years, as opposed to 12 to 15 years. And I talk to seniors all the time who go, look, I've got maybe 2 or 3 years. I may not have 15 years to wait for something to come. Now it is fun to kind of grow this. You could have this even as a house plant. And you could have it, I remember my father growing one of these in a restaurant he owned one time, and he had it growing probably 20 feet going around the restaurant to different lights, just because he liked it as a house plant. One of the few house plants that he was really successful with. I guess you could call it a restaurant plant at the time, though he never really served avocados. Anyway, the avocado, in this case, we're just showing it to you for form. We're showing you the roots, we're showing you the stems, we're showing you the foliage. And I also wanted to bring it back because, well, it was a star before, and we wanted to make sure that it got a second edition on our show. Of course, new videos will be dropping every Saturday on your favorite social media platform and at 10 a.m. So if you like it, we want you to hit subscribe. If you've got some questions, if you've got some comments, if you've got some ideas that you want to see, well, we take those into advance and we think about them. James and Peg, we may all get together and decide what we want to shoot next time. And you may be the person that gets to be sort of the producer. So, till next week, we want to tell you once again, thanks for watching.